Hi, y'all. Ms. Sugo here, and we are going to talk about two special relationships between angles. One is supplementary angles, and the other is complementary angles. Supplementary angles are any pair of angles that add up to 180 degrees. So notice that 60 and 120 add up to 180 degrees. Likewise, complementary angles are any pair of angles that add up to 90 degrees. So if you were to take 27 and add that to 63, that will give you 90 degrees. How do we work with these? Well, level 1 supplementary angles tell you that angles are supplementary and they have you solve for x. So this is what we expect to see in your notebooks. We're going to do a part whole box. And supplementary means that the whole thing is equal to 180 degrees. So I know that x plus 34 is equal to 180 degrees. And so that's what I'm going to write here. I'm going to say that x plus 34 is equal to 180 degrees. And then when I take 180 and I subtract 34 from that, I get that x is equal to 146. Okay, it's important to have a calculator or something on ready so that you're able to calculate that. Okay, so for this level 2 problem, they don't really tell us that these are supplementary. However, we see that these are two angles on a line. So they're what we call a linear pair. A linear pair, two angles on the same line, and linear pairs are always supplementary, meaning that they add up to 180 degrees. So I have 7x and 3x equaling to 180 degrees. If I want to solve, I will simply say that 7x plus 3x is equal to 180 degrees. When I add the two terms together, I get 10x is equal to 180 degrees. And then lastly, by dividing 10 to both sides, I get that x is equal to 18. 18 degrees. Okay? So if you ever need to pause the video or go back, I encourage you to do so that you're understanding the nature of how we do these problems. So now this is a Delta math practice that you will have. And for these, we want to see the drawings in your notebook. We are actually going to draw these out. I am going to draw a linear pair just because when you read this, it says angle A and B are supplementary. So you don't have to do them both on a line. That's just the way that I like to do it and the way that I recommend students do it. So they tell me that angle A is equal to 2x plus 10, and that angle B is equal to 2x plus 2. And when I do my part whole box, I see that the whole thing is 180 degrees because these angles are supplementary. And so when I have 2x plus 10 on one side and 2x plus 2 another, I can then go to the algebra portion, which is just now solving for what x might be. So I start by combining like terms. Sorry, this is equal to 180 degrees. When I combine 2x and 2x, I get 4x. When I combined 10 and 2, I get 12. And that totals up to 180 degrees. When I subtract 12 to both sides, I get that 4x is equal to 168. And so now is the time to pull out your calculators and try it out yourself. If you need to pause the video, do so. But when we divide both sides by 4, we get that x is equal to 42. Okay, now they're not asking for x, and I know that a lot of us are going to be tempted to write 42 as our final answer. However, they're asking us to find the measurement of angle A. That means that the x that I got, I have to plug back into the equation. The equation was that angle A is equal to 2 times something plus 10. We figured out that that something was actually 42. So angle A is equal to 84 plus 10, which means that angle A is equal to 94 degrees. And so you can just put a 94, you don't have to put degrees. And this is our final answer. We are now going to look at complementary angles. Now, remembering that complementary angles add up to 90, the way that I show that relationship is by putting 90 on the whole section and saying that 15 plus a number is equal to 90. And the algebra portion helps us figure out what that number is. So when I subtract 90 and 15 from 90, I get that x is equal to 75. Okay, so these are the level ones because they're just most likely going to have an x. They won't have too many variables in them. The level twos will have more variables and they won't have directions. Like they won't tell you that these are complementary angles. However, how do we know that these are complementary? Remember that complementary angles add up to 90, and that if you have a box, we know that right angles are equal to 90 degrees. So that is how we can tell when something is complementary. And so I will have the 90 on the top over here, and these two parts will just be 2x and x. The algebra helps us figure out what that x is. And so when I do that, I have 3x is equal to 90 when I divide both sides by 3. Once again, if you ever need to pause the video because you want to check it out yourself, you can. Also, I encourage you guys to pause videos anytime that you want to try the problem out yourself. So for this next one, I encourage you to pause, look at this, try to figure out the diagram on your own, then continue to play the video to see if my answer matched up with your answer. Okay, so for complementary angles, you don't have to do this. I like to draw a right angle. You do, however, need to draw a diagram for us. So we have that angle A and angle B are complementary. That's why I made it a right angle. And we said that angle A is equal to 2x plus 18, and that angle B was equal to 6x minus 8. When I do my part whole, I have that 90 degrees is made up of two parts, the first part being 2x plus 18, and the second part being 6x minus 8. And so when I put it all together, I have 2x plus 18 plus 6x minus 8 is equal to 90 degrees. When I combine my like terms, I have 8x, 18 minus 8 is equal to positive 10 is equal to 90. When I subtract both sides by 10, I get that 8x is equal to 80 degrees. And then when I divide 8 by both sides, I get that x is equal to 10. Now we have to be careful because they're not asking us what x is. They're asking us to find measure b. So once again, I know that this x is 10. And so if I'm solving for angle B, I have 6 times something minus 8. I found that that something was actually 10. So angle B is equal to 60 minus 8, which is actually equal to 52. 52 degrees. Okay? So we want you to do 3 things. First step, draw your diagram. Second step, draw your part-hole box. And the third step is the algebra. At times, you're going to need to go from the algebra to plugging in, but not all the time. It just depends on what the question is asking for. Okay, the last thing we're going to look at, and this isn't really new, on Friday, we looked at vertical angles, and vertical angles are opposite of each other and are made whenever 2 lines intersect. So I have a line here, and we call them vertical angles because they form V's. So like the letter V's, they form V's. And the nature of vertical angles is that they're congruent. What does that mean? Well, angle A is congruent to angle B. That means that the measurement of angle A is equal to the measurement of angle B. That's what that means. And so looking at vertical angles, if 2 things are vertical angles, the first thing that you're going to do is draw the intersecting lines. So this is what you're going to do in your notebook. I have angle A, I have angle B. Angle A is 7x minus 27, and angle B is 3x plus 29. When you're doing your part whole, we want you to just do 2 parts because there are 2 parts being represented here. 7x minus 27, 3x plus 29. And I know that the relationship is that these are equal. So we want to see an equal sign in your part whole box. So now it's a matter of having the algebra set up. 7x minus 27 is equal to 3x plus 29. I'm going to subtract the 3x from both sides, and I'm going to get 4x minus 27 is equal to 29. Now I'm going to add the 27 to both sides, and I'm going to get 4x is equal to 56. Okay, so I'm going quickly, but it's not because I'm a mathematical genius that has all of the answers in her head. It's because I have a calculator next to me, and sometimes I'm even able to just try to do it on my own in my mind. But we have here x is equal to 14. Now here they're only asking us for x, so it's okay. We can put that x is equal to 14. Please feel free to rewind these videos or to see certain parts of it again. Also, take advantage of the reference guide that we have attached. This reference guide can be used for any quizzes, assessments, whatever work that we give you, you can use this Unit 1 reference guide for. Remember that you can also study these terms on Quizlet. Everyone should have signed up for Quizlet with the invitation that we gave, and I will provide all of that information on Google Classroom. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, and have fun.